Welcome back. Today we're diving into the mind of cinema's most terrifying and sophisticated villain, Dr. Hannibal Lecter, the cannibal psychiatrist who can charm you one moment and eat your liver the next. From Anthony Hopkins' Oscar-winning performance to the dark secrets behind the scenes, these 10 facts will change how you see the Silence of the Lambs forever. Let's get started. Let's start with something absolutely mind-blowing. Anthony Hopkins appears in The Silence of the Lambs for only 16 minutes. Yet he won the Academy Award for Best Actor. Commerçant, think about that. 16 minutes. Most leading roles have hours of screen time. Hopkins made every single second count. Director Jonathan Demme once described Hopkins' Lecter as a human dragon, mythical, cultured, and hypnotic. Commerçant, less is more, and this performance proves it. But how did Hopkins make those 16 minutes so unforgettable? It starts with his inspiration. Hopkins' Lecter wasn't based on any serial killer. He was inspired by something much stranger. Hopkins revealed that Lecter's form of expression was inspired by 3 things: Katharine Hepburn, a drama teacher, and the AI entity, HAL 9000 from 2001, A Space Odyssey. D Awards. Hopkins wanted to play Lecter as a machine, an intellectual genius trapped in a psychotic form with absolutely no feeling for humanity. Peekaboo, and that famous hissing sound? Hopkins recalled childhood impersonations of Bela Lugosi as Dracula, saying, "That's where I got the sound I made with my lips," as Hannibal. D Awards, and Hopkins's commitment to being scary? It went beyond the camera. Hopkins didn't just act scary on camera. When he was not shooting, Hopkins still chose to remain in character. He even lashed out at a lighting girl in his unique Lecter style when she entered the cell. Clerk. At the first table reading, Hopkins was so scary that you could have heard a pin drop in the room. A couple of seconds after I started to speak as Lecter, I saw Jodie grow tense. D Awards. Director Demme marveled at how genuinely terrifying Hopkins made the character, constantly saying, "Oh my God, you're so weird." Clerk. Speaking of Jodie Foster, one of their most memorable moments was completely unscripted. You know that scene where Lecter mocks Clarice's accent? Here's the truth. Hopkins improvised the mockery of Foster's accent, so Foster wasn't expecting it, and she took it as a personal attack. However, she remained in character for the rest of the scene, and later thanked Hopkins for getting an authentic performance out of her. 4 Tololo, that genuine look of offense on Clarice's face, that's real. Hopkins blindsided her, and she used that hurt to make the scene even more powerful. But Hopkins didn't just improvise lines. He changed entire scenes. The most iconic introduction in cinema history? That was Hopkins's idea. Hopkins changed director Jonathan Demme's idea of how Lecter should be discovered. When Demme asked if he wanted to be lying down or reading, Hopkins said, "No, standing. I can smell her coming down the corridor." D Awards. Hopkins explained, "I'd like to be standing there in the center of my cell." Clerk. That image of Lecter standing perfectly still, waiting, it's burned into film history. And his costume? That was Hopkins too. The wardrobe department had a different plan. They wanted Hopkins in an orange jumpsuit. He refused, saying, "No, I want a slimline green suit. Lecter can employ anyone to make it because he's so smart, and he'll kill if you don't obey his orders." D Awards. That elegant suit makes Lecter look refined and sophisticated. Not like a prisoner, but like a king in a cage. Hopkins prepared for this role in a very specific way. To understand Lecter's mind, Hopkins went dark places. While preparing to play Hannibal Lecter, Anthony Hopkins studied real-life serial killers. He visited prisons and met with convicted murderers to dig into the psychology of what drives people to kill. He even attended court hearings involving grisly murders. For Tololo, this wasn't Hollywood research. Hopkins stared into the abyss to bring Lecter to life. But director Jonathan Demme had an unusual perspective on the character. This one is fascinating and disturbing. Director Jonathan Demme told Hopkins that he believed Dr. Lecter was a good man. Demme reasoned that Lecter wasn't a bad person. He was just trapped inside an inhuman mind. For Tololo, in addition to his intelligence and manners, Lecter has a streak of compassion that is endearing. There's something almost perversely chivalric about the way he retaliates. LiveJournal. This complexity, this idea that Lecter cares about Clarice, makes him even more terrifying. And the film's success? It made history. The Silence of the Lambs accomplished something incredibly rare. The film became the third and most recent film to win the Big Five categories: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, and Best Adapted Screenplay. Trend only 2 other films ever did this. It Happened One Night, 1934, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, 1975. A horror film winning Best Picture? Unheard of. But The Silence of the Lambs transcended genre. And finally, here's the most disturbing behind-the-scenes detail. You thought Lecter was scary. Wait till you hear about Buffalo Bill. Jane Buffalo Bill Gum was a composite of 3 real-life serial killers. Ted Bundy, who lured women into a creepy van. Ed Gein, who skinned his victims. And Gary Heidnik, who kidnapped women and trapped them in a pit in his basement. For Tololo Buffalo Bill isn't just one monster. He's 3 rolled into one. No wonder the film is so terrifying. And there you have it. 10 chilling facts about Hannibal Lecter and The Silence of the Lambs. From Hopkins' 16-minute Oscar-winning performance to the real killers that inspired the film, this masterpiece continues to haunt us decades later. Which fact disturbed you the most? Hopkins terrorizing the crew? Or Buffalo Bill being 3 killers combined? Drop a comment. If you loved this deep dive, smash that like button and subscribe. Hit the bell so you never miss a video. And remember, a census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.